It may surprise or even shock you to hear what I'm about to say, but if you're seeing this video right now, it's no accident. You've sensed for a while that your life is on the verge of some great, unstoppable momentum. Whether through signs that only you picked up on, or through moments of quiet intuition that tugged at your heart, you know something massive is about to happen. That something is a tidal wave of wealth and possibility coming straight at you with an intensity you can hardly believe. This isn't about wishful thinking. It's about recognizing that all your trials, all your lessons, have paved the way for a reality brimming with abundance. If you feel that familiar spark firing up your spirit right now, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment 77 to let the universe know you stand ready to accept the shift that's headed your way. Chapter 1. A Vision of Unimaginable Abundance. When you close your eyes and allow yourself a moment of true and sensitive dreaming, what do you see? Is it a bigger home than you ever thought possible? A chance to travel the globe and savor life's hidden corners? Maybe it's the pure joy of watching loved ones thrive without financial worry. If you are a chosen one, you've likely had flashes of these scenes, brief but potent images of a future so grand that you almost dismiss them as flights of fancy. But deep down, you know they weren't random. They were glimpses of what's lying in store. The road that led you here wasn't easy. At times, you felt singled out by struggle, even as some part of you insisted that every disappointment was secretly a building block for something greater. You might have endured financial setbacks that seemed to have no end in sight. Yet every time life tried to pin you to the ground, an inner resilience told you to stand back up. That drive wasn't just about surviving another day. It was about forging a relationship with possibility. Think about all the closed doors you encountered. At first, they likely brought frustration, confusion, maybe even heartbreak. But what if those closed doors were redirections, steering you ever closer to the pathway that leads to real abundance? Sometimes the simplest shift, a new connection, a sudden idea, or an unexpected opportunity, serves as the catalyst for remarkable change. One day you're scraping by, and the next you're poised at the brink of overflowing prosperity. Life can move that fast, especially when guided by a higher calling. Being a chosen one isn't just about feeling special. It's about accepting the mission to step into your full potential. For many, that mission includes harnessing wealth to reshape your family tree, to bless others in ways you once thought impossible, and to realize you have a deeper role to play in this world. Such wealth often arrives when you align your life's purpose with actions that benefit not only you, but everyone around you. This vision of unimaginable abundance isn't a fantasy. It's as real as the breath you draw. However, it demands that you hold it firmly in mind. When you let fear or external doubt creep in, you water down the potency of that vision. But if you can stand firm, allowing the fullness of your destiny to unfold without flinching, you set an unstoppable process in motion. With every decision you make from that place of fearless self-trust, you inch closer to the day you wake up and realize that your dream, your grand, glorious vision, is no longer just an idea. It's your lived reality. Chapter 2. Preparing your inner landscape. Wealth in its most powerful form first takes root inside you before it ever shows up in your external world. You may feel the winds of change swirling around, but you have to be mentally and emotionally prepared to catch their momentum. If your inner landscape is cluttered by limiting beliefs, telling you it's too good to be true, or that people like me can't be that wealthy, you could unknowingly slam the door on the very blessings trying to find you. Look at your thoughts over the past few weeks. Have they been excited and expectant, or riddled with self-doubt and hesitation? Often, a single stray thought can spiral into an undercurrent of negativity that sabotages opportunities. Being a chosen one means you're called to a higher level of awareness. It's not about perfection, but about recognizing when your mindset needs an upgrade. Imagine your mind as a garden. If you let weeds of pessimism run rampant, they'll choke out the seeds of abundance. But once you tend to your mental soil, pulling out each doubt, you create the ideal conditions for wealth to flourish. Sometimes old memories of lack or struggle cling to your consciousness, making you believe that's the only story you'll ever live. You might recall times when you put your trust in someone or something, only to watch your dreams collapse. Though those memories might still sting, they also taught you valuable lessons about resilience, patience, and faith. There's a reason you're still here, standing despite every setback. Those experiences were part of your training, ensuring that when genuine abundance arrives, you'll respect it, steward it wisely, and use it to elevate not just yourself but everyone around you. Take a moment to imagine the inner shifts you'll need to embrace. What does your routine look like when you believe wholeheartedly that massive wealth is on its way? How do you speak about yourself, your abilities, and your future? Do you spend more time planning for the next chapter? Or do you get bogged down in second-guessing every small decision? Transforming your inner landscape means allowing yourself to be bold, to dream beyond the margins of what you use to consider realistic. After all, for a chosen one, the boundaries of realism stretch much further than most people dare to imagine. And here's a subtle truth. You don't need everything planned out before the abundance arrives. Sometimes it's enough just to clear space in your heart and mind, trusting that each step will become clear as the path unfolds. Let each day be an affirmation, a reminder that you're done merely surviving. You're here to thrive, to soar, to break the cycle of scarcity once and for all. When your inner landscape is fully aligned, no external force can hold you back. The wealth that's destined for you will flow in as naturally as morning follows night. Chapter 3, Signs that Confirm Your Readiness. When the universe is preparing you for a windfall of wealth, it doesn't always broadcast the news with fireworks and neon lights. Instead, you'll notice subtle signs, a series of coincidences or patterns that feel too precise to be chance. Maybe you keep seeing the same number sequences that give you a peculiar sense of comfort. Perhaps you stumble upon messages that seem to speak directly to your current situation, turning your intuition up a notch. These small yet significant moments are not random. They're indicators that you're in a sweet spot of divine alignment. Pay attention to how you feel when these signs appear. Do you experience a sudden surge of excitement, or does a wave of calm reassurance wash over you? Both are valid emotional responses, letting you know you're on the right track. It's as though your deeper self is confirming that the door you've been waiting for is at last swinging open. And remember, not every sign has to make logical sense. Sometimes a comment from a stranger or a snippet of a conversation overheard in passing can carry a message that feels unshakably relevant to your journey. Chosen ones often develop an acute sensitivity to these subtle cues, recognizing that the divine speaks in whispers as often as it does in thunder. Also, notice how your environment reacts. You might find that money shows up in small ways before the floodgates open, like an unexpected discount or a gift from someone who claims they thought of you out of nowhere. These events can be seen as gentle previews, letting you know more is coming. In these instances, your best move is gratitude. A simple thank you, said aloud or felt deep in your heart, can magnify that positive energy, setting the stage for even larger financial blessings. Surges of creativity or bursts of motivation can also be signs. Perhaps you wake up inspired to pick up a project you nearly abandoned, or you experience a breakthrough in planning your future endeavors. That energy isn't just a random mood swing, it's a signal that your spirit is embracing the reality of newfound abundance. The same can happen with your social circle. People who used to drain your energy may start fading into the background while new connections appear, offering a sense of mutual encouragement and growth. When these signs converge, it's hard to dismiss the feeling that something monumental is about to happen. Rather than let fear creep in, lean into faith. You may not see every detail clearly, but you sense the grand design forming just beneath the surface. This heightened awareness is your prompt to keep going, keep refining your plans, keep trusting your own worth, and keep standing firm in the knowledge that wealth beyond your wildest dreams isn't just on the horizon. It's rapidly making its way into your present reality. Chapter 4. Stepping into an expanded identity. Wealth isn't just about numbers in a bank account or valuables lining your shelves. It's an energy, a mindset, and a state of being that requires you to stretch beyond the version of yourself you used to know. Stepping into an expanded identity means believing at your core that you are worthy of abundance so vast it can transform your life in ways you can't fully predict. This level of self-acceptance might feel unfamiliar, especially if you've grown comfortable with playing it small. Look back at how many times you settled for less. Less recognition, less compensation, less passion, simply because you thought that was all you could get. In those moments, your identity was boxed in by limitations that felt safe but weren't truly satisfying. Now the universe is inviting you to shed that restrictive shell. You can't maintain the same limiting viewpoints and expect to seamlessly usher in a new season of extreme abundance. Something within you has to shift, and that shift is an expansion of who you believe yourself to be. This isn't a call to boast or inflate your ego. It's an invitation to recognize you can hold more, do more, and give more. An expanded identity isn't self-serving, it's deeply generative. When you begin to see yourself as a vessel for limitless wealth, you naturally consider how your resources can uplift not just you, but the people and communities that matter to you. Suddenly, the wealth you receive becomes a conduit for goodwill, compassion, and progress. It transforms from being just yours to being a blessing that ripples outward. Yet expansion also demands responsibility. As you evolve, you may need to set firmer boundaries around your time or your mental space. You might notice some people are not prepared to walk beside you in this new chapter, and that can sting. However, letting go of what no longer serves you is essential to making room for what does. This transition can feel like an internal tug of war, as parts of your old identity resist change. But remember, a chosen one must continually grow or else risk stagnation. Visualizing your expanded self can help bridge the gap. Picture who you'd be if there were no financial constraints, no limiting beliefs. Imagine the causes you'd champion, the people you'd help, and the level of joy and freedom you'd radiate. Let that vision anchor in your soul. Each day, act from that future self's perspective. What decisions would that version of you make? How would you handle challenges or celebrate victories? Gradually, you'll find your present actions aligning with that grander idea of who you are destined to become. Chapter 5. Nurturing a Newfound Power. As the wave of wealth draws nearer, you may notice a new electric current pulsing through your days, a sense of agency so tangible it almost tingles beneath your skin. It is thrilling, yet unsettling. For years, you dreamed of resources abundant enough to remove certain ceilings, but you may not have anticipated how heavy authority can feel once placed squarely on your shoulders. Wealth is never just larger numbers in an account. It is leverage, influence, access. It magnifies your voice, your flaws, and your impact. If you are a chosen one, there is purpose in this entrustment. Your task is to wield abundance like a well-balanced blade, sharp enough to cut pathways through injustice, steady enough not to harm your own integrity. The first key is reframing power itself. Culture loves the cautionary tale in which power corrupts. Yet power can also clarify. Imagine standing on a high ridge at sunrise. More terrain becomes visible, not because the land changed overnight, but because your vantage shifted. Likewise, increased resources expand your line of sight. Problems you once accepted as normal reveal solvable contours. You might recognize gaps in local education and fund a STEM program, or notice struggling artists in your circle and underwrite their next exhibition. Your money becomes light poured into dim places, illuminating possibility for everyone in its radius. That said, illumination exposes shadows, including in yourself. Old insecurities, once muted by necessity, can resurface when you suddenly possess what you thought would banish them. A childhood wound whispering, "You're still not enough," can tempt you into over-acquiring, overperforming, or people-pleasing. External voices add pressure, relatives expecting handouts, acquaintances offering dubious, can't-miss investments, critics questioning your motives. In those moments, discernment is your firewall. Revisit the values that carried you through lean seasons. Use them as a litmus test. Does this opportunity align with your mission statement? Does this relationship honor reciprocal growth or merely drain your momentum? Learning to say no, firmly, kindly, swiftly, becomes as crucial as knowing when to say yes. Self-care, once a luxury, now graduates to non-negotiable infrastructure. Abundance expands your calendar, and hustle culture will cheer if you fill every slot. But burnout serves no one. Schedule white space the way you schedule board meetings. Protect solitude for prayer or meditation, journal reflections, tech-free walks. Nourish your body with the same intention you allocate funds: sleep, whole foods, gentle movement. Consider appointing a personal advisory board, a therapist, a financial planner, a spiritual mentor, so your growth remains holistic. Remember, a swollen bank balance paired with an anemic spirit is still poverty. Retrospection also fuels sustainability. Keep a humility portfolio of memories. Nights you counted coins for groceries, mornings you nearly quit, breakthroughs that arrived hours after you surrendered in tears. Leaf through it whenever entitlement tries to creep in. Those pages remind you why compassion must ride shotgun with power. They also guard against the imposter syndrome that paradoxically haunts new success. Every challenge you overcame was tuition for the influence you wield now. Rereading your own origin story reinstates confidence in your capacity to steward more. As stewardship becomes habit, power feels less like an external force and more like muscle memory. You donate without fanfare because generosity is woven into your routine. You negotiate deals that uplift entire teams, not just personal profit, because collective prosperity aligns with your worldview. Your wealth transforms into a circulatory system. Resources flow in, purpose directs them, impact flows out. Gratitude invites greater inflow, a sacred closed-loop ecology. Expect periodic tests. Perhaps a market downturn slashes portfolio values, or a trusted partner betrays a contract. See these not as cosmic punishments, but as refinement drills sharpening your resilience. True power flexes in adversity. You stay transparent with stakeholders, double down on ethical choices, pivot with creativity. Such integrity amplifies your credibility, opening doors money alone never could. Finally, embrace joy. Many high achievers silently equate success with perpetual vigilance, fearing that one misstep will topple everything. Yet joy is fuel. Celebrate milestones, not only IPOs or awards, but subtler victories like paying fair wages ahead of schedule or witnessing a scholarship recipient publish their first book. Host gratitude dinners. Write thank you letters. Dance in your kitchen to songs that once carried you through dark nights. Joy vaccinates against cynicism, reminding you that abundance is an adventure, not a sentence. In nurturing your newfound power, you become a living paradox, both grander in reach and humbler in spirit. Money might buy microphones, but character decides what message blares through the speakers. Let your message affirm possibility, uplift the overlooked, and echo the faith that burns this chapter. If power is a flame, wield it as a hearth, gathering others around warmth and illumination, rather than a wildfire that scorches indiscriminately. In doing so, you honor the divine confidence that called you chosen and entrusted you with the means to prove it. Chapter 6. Staying true to your purpose. It's one thing to talk about wealth and power, but it's another to stay aligned with why you wanted them in the first place. When blessings pour in, distractions can multiply. People and opportunities you never imagined might suddenly chase after you, each with their own agenda. Tempting though it is to get swept up in the excitement, a chosen one knows the crucial importance of remaining anchored to a deeper calling. Remember the initial vision that fueled your perseverance. Perhaps it was the dream of financial freedom for your family, the desire to create generational stability, or the wish to break chains of hardship that have long weighed on you and those you love. That dream is more than just a personal milestone. It's a signpost on your journey, a reminder that your destiny isn't just about personal gain. It's about contributing something meaningful to the world. Staying true to your purpose may require recalibrating your environment. As you evolve, some environments and relationships might stifle your growth. If a circle no longer supports your mission or constantly sows seeds of doubt, it might be time to step back. This doesn't mean shutting yourself off from everyone who questions you. Honest friends who challenge you can be a blessing. But there's a difference between constructive guidance and draining negativity. By carefully choosing where you devote your time and energy, You keep your purpose as the driving force behind every action you take. Another aspect is using your wealth to uphold values that matter to you. Whether you invest your money, your resources, or your influence, being mindful of these decisions allows you to turn each financial transaction into a statement of purpose. Whether you're supporting an art program in your local community, funding an entrepreneurship initiative, or simply ensuring that the products and services you use align with your ethics, every choice becomes a reflection of your core beliefs. Resist any narrative that claims you can't be both extremely prosperous and profoundly grounded in truth. The more stable you are in your inner moral compass, the more freely you can expand your external world. This synergy between heart and action creates an unshakable foundation for success. No temporary setback or public opinion can erode that kind of integrity. If anything, challenges will only serve to reaffirm how committed you are to walking your path with honor. When you stay true to your purpose, every gain amplifies what you can offer others. Wealth then becomes a multiplier of good rather than just another trophy on a shelf. By continually returning to the why behind your ambitions, you ensure that this wave of abundance will not merely carry you forward, but also lift those around you in ways you might not yet fully comprehend. Chapter 7. Embracing the crescendo of blessings. Stand on the brink of this moment and let yourself feel the magnitude of what's about to unfold. You've prepared yourself inside and out, shedding layers of self-doubt and nurturing the mindset needed for abundant living. Now the universe is orchestrating a crescendo of blessings, a glorious upward sweep that will surpass your wildest expectations. It's like a symphony that's been building one instrument at a time until the final movement explodes in triumph and harmony. Imagine waking up one morning with the unshakable awareness that things have fundamentally changed. It could be a phone call confirming a massive financial breakthrough or a sudden realization that the income streams you've cultivated have multiplied. However it arrives, your heart will beat with both exhilaration and relief. This is what you've prayed for, sacrificed for, and held on to when nothing else seems certain. And as your eyes open to the new reality, you'll also see how perfectly timed everything is. Delays no longer feel like punishments, but like stepping stones that guided you to a place you never could have reached otherwise. Take a moment to soak in the gratitude. That wave of appreciation does more than uplift your mood. It amplifies the blessings still on their way. After all, abundance thrives in a heart that's grateful, not grasping. As you stand in the midst of this crescendo, you realize that wealth isn't just about money. It's about freedom, about choice, about the ability to give and receive with a generous spirit. It's the capacity to shape your life in accordance with your deepest values, to forge opportunities that ripple outward and make the world a better place. And yet, the journey doesn't end here. This is the threshold, not the final stop. Each blessing that flows into your life carries a subtle whisper of new possibilities. You might start dreaming on a scale you never dared before. You may inspire others simply by living your truth, showing what can happen when faith, action, and divine timing converge. The path will continue to twist and turn, revealing more layers of who you are meant to be. For now, embrace this moment. Let the sheer joy and relief wash over you, reminding you that even when life seemed barren, your destiny was quietly blooming. The world may look at you and see overnight success, but you know every step that led here. You felt the bumps and stumbles, the long nights wondering if you should give up. But you didn't, because you were a chosen one, shaped for this very blessing. And so the story continues, expanding outward with each choice you make, each leap of faith you take, and every new window of opportunity you choose to explore.